Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goedemorgen.
Pakhair ni hao, tuna shumme, washmale, ohio, gonzaimes, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shuma chutore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabia, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very superb, the very amazing, the very marvelous, the very fantabulous Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. And before Shiza says a word, ladies and gentlemen, for all of those people who got the opportunity to be there and perform Hajj, congratulations to you all, and make sure that you remember us all in your prayers as well. Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Hajj Mubarak to you as well, and to all the Muslims out there as well. But Shahzad, you feel like, of course, since this year has been unique in its own, Hajj was sort of unique too. I mean, I feel like not everybody from every corner of the world got a chance to probably apply and then go on later as well. But I really hope, I mean, this month has been great so far for everyone as well. Like Shahzad said, remember us in your prayers as well. And I was reading one of the hadith, and I cannot narrate it exactly like that, but the theme of it was that this month is especially very sacred, and it has a lot of blessings not only for the people who are performing Hajj, but each and every single Muslim in every corner of the world. And it also said, especially in the first 10 days of this month, whatever good deed you do, it is going to have immense reward. I mean, even more than jihad at times. That is beautiful to begin with.
Exactly, that is beautiful. And not just that, ladies and gentlemen, you know, performing the Sunnah Ibrahimi, I think, is one of the most dearest and the closest things to our heart too as well. And everybody make sure that, you know, that whatever it takes, they're actually going to do that. But since these are changing times, these are very testing times as well. So ladies and gentlemen, there's this one recommendation made by the government, and that is that, you know, rather than going outside or, you know, you know, because what we do is that we take all our kids, chacha, mama, and everybody to Bakra Mandi. And then what we want is that we want to buy the cows in bulk and whatnot, which is great. And everybody wants to do it, and everybody's been doing it. But this time around, things are different, ladies and gentlemen. If, God forbid, we're not going to look after ourselves, and if we are going to go out just like the way we do, or if we are going to have people over and you know, do barbecues and whatnot, ladies and gentlemen, coronavirus is going to spread like a fire in the jungle. So this is one request for all of those people who are out there. Please make sure that if you can do a collective Qurbani, that will be the best case scenario. But if not, if you're the only one and if you want to do one goat and whatnot, you know, that's totally on to you. But please make sure that you maintain your distance, that you do not call people over, you know, for desserts and barbecues and whatnot. Avoid large gatherings. And, you know, every Pakistani's task, chehre par mask, or probably mask on their face as well. So ladies and gentlemen, to discuss about the importance of or the significance of collective Qurbani, we have somebody over here who's been my partner during COVID days as well. We've been over the phone and we've been conversing. And, you know, one way or the other, we were trying to support each other as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, he's a religious scholar and a good one, let me tell you. And he's none other than Mr. Imran Sandhu. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Hajj Mubarak. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And it's good to get together, face to face.
Face to face. Even though we were chatting face to face, but it's wonderful to have you over here, all healthy, and everything's fine, alhamdulillah. And the one thing, ladies and gentlemen, which I realized while we were going through our COVID days as well, is that Mr. Imran Sandhu Saab is in love with his family, alhamdulillah, and that he cannot be all by himself. So what he did was that since he was in self-isolation, he placed cameras in his house so that he could actually talk to all of his kids at one time. And that was wonderful, and that was something which I've taken a message from as well. And from that day onwards, I made sure that I'm going to do the same as well. But sir, other than that, you know, today we do not have a lot of time to ourselves. So let's just talk about the significance of, you know, collective Qurbani. And not just that, let's talk about Hajj a little as well.
So Hajj actually takes us back to the date of a very significant event that actually tells us that you know, how the great prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and his son who was also a great prophet, Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, we call him Zabihullah, and he offered himself to his father when he saw a dream. And in his dream he saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving him an order to sacrifice his son. But having said this, I must also mention that the ruling of a dream is that it is of importance over here, that the dreams of the prophets are not like the dreams that we see.
Right, of course.
The dream of the prophet is wahi, and prophets get orders in their dreams because in form of wahi.
Okay.
So and that is why he asked his son that I've been ordered and seen a dream whereby I have to sacrifice you in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this whole event actually commemorates that day when he ordered his son and asked his opinion, Mada Tara, what do you see? He said that whatever you have seen, go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
And I am available for you to sacrifice myself on the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly.
So
Beautiful.
it actually, and then it's a very, very popular, known to everyone what happened.
Popular fact.
Yeah, fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually ordered a goat to be sacrificed that was there from the Jannah.
Exactly.
And from that day onwards, this event of Qurbani makes us remember that inna salati wa nusuki wa hayati wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen, that our prayer, our offering of salah and our offering of Qurbani, nusuki, and our life and our death is for Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Indeed, sir.
There's no question on that
And
as
I
well.
just wanted to add over here as well before Shiza actually wants to move on with her question, and that is that, you very rightly said, and it's a fact as well, that, that the dreams of the Prophet are actually wahi as well. Because in our dreams, we cannot even apply the brakes of the car or probably punch someone. So, this is something which is a fact and it is known for sure.
Absolutely. And the narration that you just did, it is actually such a beautiful example of how, if the devotee's faith is so strong, Allah is going to be even more merciful, of course. That's a fact, yes. But now, Sandhu Sahab, along with me, hundreds of thousands of Muslims all over the globe are actually confused about the fact how to offer their, I want to say, prayers along with, all sorts of ibadah, especially in the first 10 days. Now that there's corona and most of them cannot make it to Hajj or cannot make it to, do all those things that they used to do before this year. How should we do dhikr or worship at all?
Yes, any sane person who's sane and has reached the age of puberty and has an amount equal to or more than 52.5 tolas of
Gold.
silver.
Silver.
Oh, okay.
7.25 tolas of gold. It's according to the Hanafi ruling, it is wajib upon him to do the Qurbani.
Right.
And if he doesn't do it, he actually commits a sin.
Okay.
Because there are several hadiths that tells that it is wajib, because if you don't do it, you are going to be asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So other scholars like Shafi, they say that this is sunnah al-ain. So whoever follows what school of thought, they must perform the Qurbani according to their schools. So having said this, nowadays we are under very special circumstances. There's a kind of an emerging situation since the last few months, that we are surrounded by a pandemic. And some of us have been through it, so we know the kind of pain that we have to go through. It is not only the pain that we suffer, but it is also we must think and be compassionate and be sympathetic and empathetic as well with the people who are potential you know, what should we use the word, potential, you know, potentially very vulnerable to this disease.
Okay.
People having, and there are people around having, you know, medical conditions,
Yeah.
and old aged people, they are very vulnerable to this disease. You know, yes, we know of children and young people who are healthy, they can get over it with lots of pain,
yes.
but you know, so we must be compassionate about them.
Exactly.
So
Yes, absolutely.
in these days we must prefer those methodologies that are that have social distancing built into their process. And this you know, process of ijtimai qurbani, the collective qurbani,
Right.
whereby you can give the money through your bank account, could be a preference for us.
Yep.
It could be a preferential for us, that we use these opportunities to do the qurbani. Of course, you know, doing this qurbani individually contains more ajr, because you have to give time, and you have to give your you know, physical self to that
Care and be
process.
there, yes.
But you know, we must be compassionate because of this pandemic.
Yes.
Right. But Santosh, one thing, I feel like, of course, this question should be for the next segment as well, but I want you to answer as a religious scholar. Now, these apps working where you can actually, you know, make sure you can do a collective qurbani, like you said, or even buy your animal if you want to get one for yourself as well. But in terms of, you know, religious requirements, there are certain when you go to buy an animal for qurbani. How can we make sure that the animal that we're buying off our phones is actually fulfilling all those requirements?
Yep.
And do we get guna for if it doesn't?
Because by the end of the day, the only thing which they will deliver at your doorstep is meat. You know, so we're not sure what kind of animal was being slaughtered
Right.
in the name of Allah.
Well, if you've got an element of trust with the people, you've had an experience with them before,
Yeah.
you know them, that they are legit.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my humble opinion, you can, you know, the basic reason that, you know, a thing becomes haram, a business transaction or a buy and selling transaction of qurbani will become haram, is that anything that makes things uncertain, like you have to see what you are buying.
Okay.
This, because if you don't see the roya, the contract becomes invalid.
Okay.
So nowadays, when you are buying through an app, you are not seeing that animal. This is one of the rulings. But you know, if this process can be you know, made sure that the thing you buy you know, is the specification of that goat is exactly the same, then you know it becomes valid.
Okay,
So to if you can make sure that thing you are buying is the same that is being delivered to you, then it can be done.
Which is
Right.
great, and I think everybody needs to do that too as well. But then at the same time, you know, there's this one thing which I was very keen to ask, and I didn't knew where to look for it as well, and that is that, you know, when the pandemic started, you know, and we actually got quotations from where Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that if there was an outbreak of a disease and somebody's in the village, they're not supposed to leave the village, which is perfectly fine. Which means that we do have a history of pandemics in those times as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then at the same time, do we get any such instances within our religious history of, you know, moving towards collective qurbani, or probably not going out just because of the fact that there was an outbreak or something other than that, so that we get a reference as in how and what we really need to do in these times as well?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I do not know about any hadith that tells about this like specific to qurbani.
Okay.
But yes, there you know, there are rulings upon how to behave when there's a disease outbreak in
What are those rulings?
The ruling is to be careful.
Yeah.
We should not, any disease that would come upon you, we have a faith that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly.
Right.
But from the same source, a ruling comes that wherever there's a pandemic going on, or there is a outbreak of a disease that could be spread with while meeting people, so you should be very, very careful. As the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that run from from a Mazzoom who has been caught in a disease, like you run from Asad. Asad is lion.
Yeah.
So run from like you see a lion in front of you, and you to save yourself from disease.
Okay.
Because the mizaj or the of Sharia is that Sharia does not want you to go and invite trouble for yourself.
Of course.
This and it exactly spells out in the as we name our deen as Islam, the peace,
Right.
salamti. So the mizaj of Sharia is to save oneself from any kind of an atrocity, any kind of a disease. Saving life is another context that we must ponder upon, that our behaviors must not propel this disease to other.
Yeah.
So this is
that's
So we
so
have to be
important.
responsible.
Exactly, that's so important. I feel like everyone should definitely remember that in all times. But towards the end of the segment, I have 2 or 3 questions that need quick answers, of course, from a scholar like you. Imagine, let's assume, if there were 2 people in a house and both of them earning, does that mean they have to do 2 Qurbani?
Husband and
sorry.
wife.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah?
Please ask again.
So if the husband and wife both are earning, does that ask for 2 Qurbanis?
Yes.
It's not earning, it's not the earning that impacts the ruling.
Okay.
It's the amount of saving that you have.
Yeah. Loads and loads.
So maybe somebody is out of job, but they have a
Right.
saving that is above 52.5 tolas of silver.
Right.
So then you have to do the ruling is that you have to go by Qurbani.
So let me
Whether-
check. Let me check very quickly.
it's
Do
not-
you have
it's-
52 points? So
it's-
what's the figure?
It's not gender specific.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It is wealth specific.
No, of course, I didn't mean gender. I meant that if more than 1 people were earning from the house. But yes, thank you so much for
Okay,
answering
but
that.
yeah.
One more-
Stop over here. So can you please share the figure again? It is 52 point?
5 tolas of
52.5.
yeah.
52.5 tolas of silver, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. If you have it in saving, if you have it in your bank account or anywhere else, or money equivalent to that,
Right.
which is in your saving account, you are actually eligible for Qurbani as well. Please make sure to do
Absolutely.
that. But let me ask you that very quickly.
And then another thing, not only that, but if you are crossed the age of puberty,
Yeah.
Okay.
and you are a sane person.
See,
Even
that's
then.
important
Even
as
then,
well.
yeah.
Even then.
Because
So do we have to take all the
insanity
3
does
boxes, or is it 1 or 2 or 3?
I'm sorry?
Do we have to take all the 3 boxes, 52.5 tolas of silver, you've hit the age of puberty, and that you are a sane
Yeah,
mind?
this is the checklist.
Same.
This is the checklist, all 3 of them. So sane, and the other one is there.
Yeah.
What about 52.5 tolas
I don't know
of
how
silver?
that much makes, so we'll leave that
You
for
can go
after
ahead
the
and
show as well.
convert. The rates are over there.
All right.
Yeah.
Another thing, should we be fasting on the day of Hajj or on the day of Arafat as well?
It's preferred, yes.
Yeah, we should.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
Let us know towards the end some of the other, like I already mentioned, zikr, let's say, or prayers that we should be doing.
And not just that, there's one more thing, and that is that we really need to let people know how to divide the portions of the meat once they've sacrificed the goat as well. Because there are some people who say that you can keep all the meat to yourself. There are some people who say that 1 portion is for the poor, 1 for the family, and 1 for the friends. But yes, how do we do it?
And
Because
there are even
wherever there
people-
are meat lovers, they say that you can keep all of it.
Yeah, and there are even people who'll be like, oh, ye achhi wali apne liye rakh lo, and leave the haddi
Yeah.
and stuff for people.
And
Is
there
that
are
even
people who
fair?
actually give away all the meat. So
Yeah.
what is preferred?
Look, for an average man, the
Okay.
best option is to divide the meat with not exact division, but one third, 3 portions of 1/3, one for keep 1/3 for oneself, and other for the family and the friends, and then the third one at last but not the least, of course, the poor and the needy.
Okay,
So this is the best solution to the problem. But if somebody who has done a Qurbani, who is very poor, into poverty, he can actually keep all the meat for himself, and if he's a meat lover as well.
That's brilliant.
And for a person who is very rich and he can offer 2 or 3 Qurbanis, he must do more and more Qurbani, and you know, and give more and more to the needy. But I would stand by the people in poverty.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for saying it, and thank you so much for being here to answer all our basic questions, I know. But you know, as basic as they're so important that even if you go wrong about, you know, performing these things, it's a massive, I want to say more than guna, it's a massive sin or something that holds you back in yourself as well, of course. I mean, there are certain things that the religion requires you to do, and there is a certain way it requires you to do, so why not do it that way as well?
Exactly. So there are, ladies and gentlemen, 3 check boxes for you, and you really need to make sure if you have 52.5 tolas of silver in your saving accounts or wherever it may probably be, with your mother, with your grandmother, you have to hit the age of puberty, and then you need to have a sane mind. So if you have all 3 of them, ladies and gentlemen, you're eligible for sacrifice. Please make sure that you do not go out, but you rather put in your chunk for collective Qurbani and save other people, so that you are a responsible citizen. And even our religion wants us to be responsible people as well. So
on the 10th, 11th and 12th day of Zulhajj, which is the 12th month of the last month of the year.
Yes, exactly. And after this, ladies and gentlemen, we'll definitely move on. And yes, that will be Muharram too as well. But ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're actually going for a short break. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back, because we really need to know, God forbid, if our cattle or the goats which we have got, if they are sick, what do we really need to do, and how do we check whether we are actually getting the right goat for the sacrificial purpose? Let's do this. Good morning.
Sarangi is a bowed, short-necked string instrument from subcontinent, which is used in Pakistani classical music. Its flexible tunability and its ability to produce a large play of tonal color and emotional nuance makes it unique. Carved from a single block of wood, the sarangi has a box-like shape with 3 hollow chambers called stomach, chest and brain. It's usually around 2 feet long and around 6 inches wide. It has 3 melody strings and 11 to 37 sympathetically vibrating metal strings.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV while you watching World this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of those people who've actually performed Hajj this year around, Hajj Mubarak, but not just that, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow over here in Pakistan, it will be Eid al-Azha. We will be fulfilling the Sunnah Ibrahimi as well. We have been in conversation with Mr. Imran Sandhu, who happens to be a religious scholar and a dear friend as well. He gave us quite a lot. In fact, he shed light on what really needs to be done and who's actually eligible for the sacrifice as well. But now, ladies and gentlemen, ever since when I was a kid and ever since my goat used to fall ill, I used to give it Panadol or paracetamol or things like that. And yes, that has been very chaotic for me. But not just that, I think that now we actually need the experts' advice who are over here with us. And they're going to let us know, first of all, how to check whether the animal you're buying for collective Qurbani or individual Qurbani, what do you really need to see in the animal? And not just that, how to check whether your animal is sick or not. And if, God forbid, it is sick, what do we really need to do? And to talk about that, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by veterinaries over here in the studios with us. Ladies and gentlemen, today happens to be Dr. Madeha Tariq. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Right, exactly after a year's time. And it's wonderful to have you. And not just that, alongside Dr. Madeha, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by Dr. Javed Munir Shah Sahab as well. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Thank you. Walaikum salam.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Sir, are you participating in a collective Qurbani or you're doing it individually?
Collective one.
Collective? Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you,
so
Dr. Madeha?
Well, not decided yet.
No, you haven't decided yet. Tomorrow is Eid.
No, it's
it's tomorrow.
All right. So to begin with, how are you guys making sure that there are, of course, people setting up kettles? What do we call it? What is a mandi?
Mandi is a
Okay,
mandi.
mandi. So how are you making sure that they're observing all the SOPs and not getting sick?
Or if you want to be cool, you can say cow mall. Or something else.
Yes, you can call it a cow mall, goat mall.
Oh.
Well, we have established check posts at the entry points of the cities all over Punjab from livestock department.
Right.
We have doctors there, we have paramedical staff there. They are taking care of the animal, they are taking care of the people coming there, they are guiding them. And we also have check post sale points, and we have staff.
Okay.
Like medical camp sort of things. We have doctors there. They are checking the animals if they become sick at the sale point, if they become sick when they come in the city from the peri-urban area or from the villages. We are there, our teams are there from Livestock Department Punjab, and we are taking care of the animals specially. And we are also guiding people, avoid taking your children to the sale points. If people are taking them, try wearing masks, try wearing gloves.
Okay, and I think I need to ask you a very interesting question, and that is that whenever not this year, obviously I never got the opportunity to go to cow mandi because we were making sure that we were going to be responsible citizens and not go out and protect others from COVID disease as well. But not just that, there's one thing which I've always wanted to ask, and that is that every time we used to go to mandi or probably buy a healthy goat or a healthy cow, no matter what happens, the time you're going to bring them to your place, in a day's time, the cow is actually going to squeeze or the goat is going to squeeze. And whenever upon asking, they say that, that there's something very special which they feed them. And I do not know what's that. Is it water? Is it something
Steroids?
else? Do you think that they actually use something other than what the goat needs to be eating or the cow needs to be eating, Doctor?
No, I don't agree.
Okay.
Actually, the thing is the animal is not, fit with your environment. Or the animal is coming from a village or from a grazing area or from some other environment. So it takes some time to set in your home.
Okay.
And what they are feeding, you are not feeding to that, animal. You are feeding some sort of, bread and chanas and everything, and whatever the things the children are taking for them, they are giving it to the animal.
Yeah.
This is not, this is not good for their health. So this is the reason that animal becomes so much, weak and thin and everything. Yeah. They don't do anything with the animals there at the sale points, and they are not allowed to do that. We are having some checks on the animals, on their feed. There are many acts which are acting in the mandis and sale points. So I don't agree. You know, your environment is different. The animal is coming from a different environment,
Right.
so it does not get with your environment.
Okay,
you know?
that makes sense, of
Yeah,
course. I mean,
yeah.
you know, actually, I've seen a lot of kids, Shahzad, you know, when they want to walk their animal,
Yeah.
it's so common, they enjoy doing it. They feed Lays and Coke to the goat. Imagine what happens to the poor, I mean, animal. It's not fair. And parents actually should make sure that whenever they do send their kid out to walk the animal, I mean, just make sure to at least inform them or educate them what to do and what not to do.
Exactly.
Now,
And we've
Dr.
been seeing
Javed-
goats actually opting to opting for soft drinks. You know,
Aw.
if they have been on the table or somewhere around the goats, I think that they have been sipping on it.
I mean,
and
of
I've seen
course.
so many videos on the internet as well. Is it harmful for the goat?
Let me tell you that goat is a selective grazer.
Okay.
She can or he can eat everything on the road, even the papers,
Okay.
everything, the you know, the stones.
It totally
So
depends.
she's a selective grazer. She eats and she goes for everything to eat.
But I think that for the goat who's actually picking up on stones on the street is not a selective grazer.
She is not grazing. Actually, she is checking, sniffing, and she is licking and then
Alright.
going around.
I mean, it's curious.
Yeah,
you understand?
yeah, and even you are presenting lush green fodder to the goat, and she will mind, and she will
Yeah.
go for the papers to eat.
Exactly.
So this is her habit, and
Alright.
the other animals are not such
So
habitual.
should we
Yes.
be stopping the goat from doing so, or let it be?
She will not eat if that's not her, you know, feed.
Okay.
Yes, she will sniff. She will just go and you know, some sort of sniffing and just go away.
You just take a
Yes,
taste
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
So, I mean, just let it be, let it choose for its own self as
Yeah.
well. But Dr. Javed and Dr. Madiha, I want to congratulate you and sort of appreciate the efforts that you both, along with your team, are doing.
Thank you.
I mean, Shahzad, imagine the pandemic is going on. And
Yeah.
of course, this is sort of a religious responsibility that we cannot delay, and we would love to perform it, but with certain SOPs. So, thank you so much for being out there in the open, risking your lives and doing all of this as well.
Yeah, but this
now-
time around, luckily they're in the media cell as well,
Yeah.
so they're not going around. But yes, there
But
might
your
be
team
other team
definitely
members.
is, of course.
Obviously.
But Dr. Madiha, let us know, you know, what if you do bring the animal home, it's perfectly fine, but overnight, or probably 1 or 2 days later, it does get sick or something. And if you are like Shahzad, you're definitely going to feed him with paracetamol or something. Let us know what is the first aid that we can do at home, and should we be immediately taking it to the vet?
First of all, I would like to tell you that we are having free helpline
Okay.
from our department, livestock department. Can I tell
Yeah,
the
yeah,
number?
sure, sure, sure.
And the number is 08000
Yeah.
78686.
All right,
You can call, it's a
08000078686. Ladies and gentlemen, is the helpline. If you think that your cow or your goat or your sheep is down, or they have fever, or there's something wrong, call on this hotline, and there will be vets at your service.
They would be guiding you on the call, and they would definitely guide you. Do not do self-medication of the animal at your home. You can risk the animal. You don't know what is the real problem is. The doctor might not come at your home, but
No.
they can guide you on call. You can tell the condition, they can guide you.
Okay.
On the other hand, as I told you, we have doctors on the sale points, mandis, checkposts all over the city. We have
Right.
almost 36 sale points and 36 doctors, 36 teams
Wow.
at every sale point. You can take them. Also, we have mobile veterinary dispensaries roaming around the city. You
That's
can call the
nice.
helpline. You can take the number of mobile veterinary dispensaries. There is an emergency case and you can feel the risk. You can call them at home. They will
Exactly.
give you
Right,
the-
I just have a very quick question before you do continue, Shahzad. Dr. Javed, since you're a vet, you should be answering this as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people, including my mom sometimes, they love to paint their goat or their animal. Is this
Yeah.
safe for the goat itself?
It is basically to identify that, you know, this is my
Yeah,
goat.
but they
Yeah.
just want to do it out of fun as well.
Sometimes we ourselves want the goats and animals to be you
To
know,
look
marked.
fancy.
Yes, no, to
Okay.
mark. You know, this is flood season too. We are
Identification.
doing our efforts in the flood areas too. We are vaccinating animals. We are having flood relief camps
Okay.
at the sites, and we ourselves are asking the farmers and requesting the farmers to mark their animal. If they lost in the flood, you know, it will be easy for them to you know, detect their animal.
Okay.
So it is not, you know, bad.
Okay.
So you should
It's
enjoy
not
everything. Yeah,
harmful.
yeah,
which,
this is
which
not
is great.
harmful.
Now there are two things which I need to ask, and honestly, you know, I don't know whether I should be asking you this question. I think rather I should have asked this question from Mr. Imran Sandhu Saab.
Okay.
But since he's over here in the
Yeah.
studios with us, so he's hearing us. So
Yeah.
I will ask him and you too as well. First of all, can we actually sacrifice a female goat for this very particular purpose? And not just that, God forbid, if the goat is not doing very well, and we know that it's actually going to die tonight, and you know, before Eid and the prayers, do you think that our sacrifice will be accepted? Let me just ask Sandhu Sahab. Sandhu Sahab, yes or no? Female goat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yes.
the other one?
I don't, actually.
Yeah. Okay. No. So if God forbid the goat is ill and you actually have to sacrifice before Eid, ladies and gentlemen, before the namaz, your sacrifice isn't accepted. That's what Sandhu Sahab says. So you probably have to get up early morning and go and get another one.
Of course. Okay, let me tell another thing that we are having some animal slaughter acts, leaving Qurbani, that we cannot slaughter a goat which is a productive one or a pregnant one.
Oh, okay.
We have to see such things. So this is what you have to contact a veterinarian to look into the matter. The animal is pregnant or not, if she is a female. So you have to perform a pregnancy test before offering a Qurbani or before slaughtering the animal.
All right.
This is
so
what
yes,
I was,
you can sacrifice a female, but make sure that she's not.
that she is not pregnant. Yeah, and we are having experts on the sale mandis, which are artificial insemination technicians, and they are expert in checking the animals' pregnancies. So go for them. Check your female animals. If they are pregnant, do not go for the Qurbani.
Then do not sacrifice the animal, ladies and gentlemen. Not just that, there's one more important thing, and that is that, and these are the things which I have seen growing up. Wherever we used to go to Mandi, I would actually, my eye would catch a sight where there's somebody probably sticking a horn onto the goat. Not just that, taking out the teeth of the goat as well and making sure that it looks like that it's only 2 years old. How to catch such fraudulent people, and how do you think an ordinary person like me can judge whether the horn is stuck up onto the head or probably the teeth are missing or not? How do we do that? Anybody?
Okay, let me tell you that if you are going to buy an animal, you have to see something very very much keenly. You have to see whether the animal is having a rough coat or a smooth and lushing coat, and you have to see whether the animal is lacrimating or coughing. You have to see such things too before you touch the animal. Then you have to touch the animal if there is some wound, if there is some smell from the animal. These are the things which are very important. Before taking an animal to the home, you have to check them. Then you have to check the gait of the animal, whether the animal is lame or having some pain in the gait, and then you go for the horns. Just check them, and I'm sure that the staff there, the security is there, the medical and camps are there, so there is a strong check over there. You cannot do such lame things over there.
Exactly, which is great, and we do not want to do lame things, but there are other people who've done lame things, and then they want people to actually accept the lamest thing that they have done over a goat. But yes, that's fine. Moving on to you now. Very quickly, he's actually given us all the characteristics, but we really need to check. There shouldn't be any smell. We need to see the coat. It needs to be not blushing, obviously, but
smooth, clear, shiny.
Smooth, clear, and shiny. But God forbid if it's rough, then it's a no-no. Because they totally depend on the kind of goat you're getting as well.
Exactly. It should be healthy. You can see exactly. You can see the professional opinion.
So we're not actually looking at a shampooed coat, ladies and gentlemen, but yes, you would know.
You could tell, huh?
Yeah, whether this one's fine or not. Then you obviously have to look for the horns. You really need to make sure that the goat's walking fine, or the cow for that purpose as well, and that they're not injured. God forbid if they're injured, they're not eligible candidates.
That's right, absolutely. But thank you so much, both of you, for being here. Towards the end, Dr. Madiha, I want you to give out a message to everyone who is going to be observing sacrifice, or practicing this as well, from the livestock department, to be careful in how to go about it. This is your camera. Please go ahead.
I would like to tell people, if you are doing sacrifice, first take care of yourself. Take care of the people at your home. If you are bringing the animal, avoid taking children, avoid taking elderly people to the sale points. And secondly, if you are calling the butcher at home, try to wash his hand, try to provide him good sanitizer before you allow him to enter at your home, because he might be a carrier of COVID. And avoid touching the animal barehandedly. Try wearing gloves and try wearing mask. Take care of yourself.
Okay, so we cannot touch the animal barehanded.
No, it might have ticks around, it might have certain insects around it, they can bite them. There might be other bacteria, viruses, which might enter your hand if you have small wound. You can
and the disinfectant sprays that we are usually using, are they safe for goats or animals?
They are safe for the goats, but the specific medicine we are using for the ticks, that are not safe, and we guide the people that try avoid licking try protecting your animal so it don't lick the skin if the medicine is on.
All right, well that's great. But ladies and gentlemen, we're definitely short of time. But very quickly, moving on to you, Dr. Saab, what I need to know is that there's number one, since all my life I've always wanted pets and I've had dogs and whatnot. So there's one thing I know, that if your dog isn't well, he or she will actually have a runny nose.
Yeah.
Is it the same with the goats as well?
Yeah, of course, all the same symptoms and signs we are having. Even the humans are having off feet, lacrimation, nose running, and everything, cough. So you have to avoid such animals.
All right.
Yeah.
And God forbid if the animal's coughing or doing something other than that, being normal, what are we supposed to do?
You
Call
have
08,000?
Yes, we are having free telemedicine advisory services. She has already told you the number. Otherwise, you can go to the camp. You can go to the sale point. We are having camps and sale points there, and customized yellow color is our we are custodian for that color, and that umbrellas and that color of bikes and those MVDs, they are running around your streets. So go and take help.
Which is great, and thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to have you over here, and Eid Mubarak in advance to all of you, and for all of those people who are out there, ladies and gentlemen, Hajj Mubarak and Eid Mubarak in advance to all of you. We will be bringing some special shows for you, obviously on the first day and the second day of Eid, so please make sure to tune in. These will be special transmissions. So we might go on air from 11 till 1, but we are still not very sure about it.
Yeah, most definitely we are going to try to be at least with you for 2 hours straight. But ladies and gentlemen, for all those observing Eid today, Eid Mubarak to you. Please remember us in your prayers. And Jummah Mubarak to everyone watching as well. So tomorrow we'll catch you on the day of Eid. Write to us on our Facebook page with the name of
World This Morning. And no barbecues, ladies and gentlemen, no large gatherings. Please make sure that you are one of those people who is responsible and will make sure that he's not going to spread more coronavirus around.
Of course.
And you really need to be at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. You can also write to us on our Twitter page, which is with the name of
World This Morning.
On YouTube.
World This Morning.
And the repeat of this show you can catch
5 past midnight, ladies and gentlemen. Look after yourselves and be good, be awesome, and make sure that whatever you do, you are a responsible citizen and that you are helping the government in stopping the spread of coronavirus. Look after yourselves. Good morning.
Good
Eid
morning.
Mubarak
Take
in
care.
advance.